Well, hello everybody out there. Today we're taking a look at the Retevis RT49P FRS walkie-talkies and why they might just fit into your local communication plan. Alright everybody, welcome back. Now I know I do a lot of radio reviews, and I think that communications after an emergency is really important. It might just be because I'm a ham radio operator myself, but I have always thought that it's so handy to be able to reach out and communicate with people during a time of uncertainty or disaster. And now we've even seen with situations where there's pandemics, where you can't meet face-to-face, something like these radios could really come in handy. Even if it's just for a local group, you know, maybe on your street, up and down your block, these radios will fit the bill. Now these are FRS radios, that's Family Radio Service. That's what the service is described as. It's open to anyone and everyone, no license required. It is limited to 2 watts, and the radios cannot be mobile. You can carry it in a car, but you can't, they don't have mobile radios. It's not like a 25-watt version of this to stick in your dashboard. And the antennas cannot be removable. So, all in all, this fits the bill very well. And these are FCC type accepted, Part 95 I believe, so I will show you that on the inside when we put the batteries in. This is one of the newer radios for this service. It is IP67 waterproof rated. It does have NOAA weather receive, and it also has a flashlight on the bottom there, which is kind of handy. You will see 2 little prongs here as well for your charger, and I'm going to show you the accessories it comes with. You will have a dual charger. However, the cool part is if you keep the charger and you give this to your next door neighbor, it does have a way to charge it via the side port here, your little micro USB plug. So you're not out of hope and you're not totally lost if you don't get that. Okay, very good user's manual. I read through this quickly. Got to say it's well written, not confusing at all, not in broken English. Very well written manual. You do have belt clips for the back, and these just slide on the back. You will get a USB cable, which is for what I showed you for, to charge it up. And here's the cool part. These are nickel metal hydride AA's, so these are rechargeables. The good part about this is when these die, they're just AA batteries. You can use regular AA's, or you can go to any store anywhere almost and buy rechargeable AA's. So they're not hard to find. They're not a difficult or a stretch to find. One of the problems I've seen with some of the newer rechargeable FRS radios, not with Retevis, I gotta say, but some of the other ones, is that they tend to have batteries that are very proprietary, and when you go to the store to look for them, they don't exist anymore. I had one that used, they were bragging that they used the battery from a wireless cordless phone, and I'm like, well, but Walmart doesn't even carry those anymore, those batteries. Little blue battery packs, So, definitely a handy thing. So let's get the batteries in here, and we'll try these out. Alright, so as you see, we have the backs off, and they did require the use of a screwdriver, just a regular Phillips flathead screwdriver. There is your back. I don't know if you can see it, but there is an FCC ID in there. So they are legit FRS radios. I know some people use the FRS frequencies on their Baofangs and stuff like that, and well, yeah, probably no one's ever going to find out or catch you. These are actual legitimate radios. If you're concerned about that kind of stuff, it is handy to know. So your batteries are fairly simple. They're just rechargeable AA's, available almost anywhere, and they'll just go in there. So let's load them up, and you'll notice too around the outside here is a little bit of a gasket, a little rubber gasket around the outside. So that does let me think that there is some waterproofiness, if you could say, to these radios, and we will try that out too. Let me load up the batteries, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is turn them on. Now, these are your buttons here. This is your lamp, your call button. These are either your volume or your channel changing or your control buttons, your main control buttons. This is your monitor and scan button, and this is your menu button. To turn it on, you got to push and hold the call button, and it will turn on, even though you're like, wait a minute, it's not turning on. There you go. So there's your channel that you're on. There is your CTCS code that you're on. If you want to change it to, there's your volume, okay? We'll put it at 6, okay? And we'll turn this guy on. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it on the frequency that it's on. It's one with the 1 CTCS code. And I'm going to walk to the back of my property It's about a half an acre back, you know, and I'm going to try and see what these sound like. I'll leave one here for you to listen to, and we'll see what they sound like. I'm interested in, you know, just basically our local communications group area here. These are not long-range radios, so I'm not going to take them 1.5 miles away from the house. They're just FRS radios for local communications. Like with my neighbors, this would be ideal. You know, if I wanted to give one to the across the street neighbor and say, hey, you know, do you have water? How's your, you know, what's going on with your house? Are you guys okay? That kind of a thing for a neighborhood watch. For any kind of emergency situation, these are awesome. For family, if you're out camping, you know, and you want to keep track of the kids and give them these, you know, so you can keep track of them. Definitely a handy little device. So let me go to the back of my property, and I'm going to leave this one here. And we'll first of all key it up. And they have the Roger beep. We'll have to get rid of that Roger beep so you can hear what it sounds like. Let me go back to my property there and try it out. All right, so let's see how these sound. I am about all the way to the back fence, and we're going to see how these sound from here. Again, these are local communication type situations only, so I wouldn't be using this, say, you know, 1.5 miles away from my house, no matter what they tell you on any of those blister back radios. So, what do you think of the sound? Pretty good? All right, coming back in. So, to me, that sounded pretty good. I played it back. I wanted to make sure it sounded good. And, you know, that is what these are for. These are for local communications, not, you know, we're not doing, you know, 2.5 miles away. So, up and down your street, definitely handy little devices for neighborhood watches, for during emergency communication. Having a bunch of these to hand out in your neighborhood makes for a much safer neighborhood after a disaster as well. You have people that are able to communicate, able to ask each other, hey, do you have this? I need that. Hey, have you seen this person? You know where that person is. So definitely a handy little thing for any use in any kind of emergency or disaster, as well as just everyday use on your property. So let's walk through the menu really quick here. I don't want to keep you guys too long today. This is your menu. You will click it and hold, and you can change your channels. See, through that. Click it again, you can change your CTSS code to 0 or 1 or whatever. We have it set on 1 here. Okay, that's your call. That's your Vox. Okay, now Vox is kind of interesting. It works. It's a voice activated thing. You want to be careful using Vox because sometimes you can inadvertently splurt something out and it will transmit over the radio. These are your secondary channels. You know, that's your high power. You can go low or high. I'm assuming low is probably like 0.5 watt and high is 2 watts. And we're back to normal. You monitor or scan. Now the monitor was when it showed that second channel. So you can monitor 2 channels or 3 channels back and forth. If you want to put it in scan mode, you just simply hit it and hold it, and it will start scanning. Okay, and it will scan off that 1 channel. Your lamp on the bottom, just hit the button. Now you'll notice only one of those is lit up. There's a reason for that. That's a white LED. That's a red LED. The red LED is for your emergency over here. So you push and hold that, and it will blink and show you 1, 2, 3, that's an SOS. And you can turn that off right there. So it's fairly simple to use, very basic, a little more advanced than some basic FRS radios, but really not difficult. You're going to be giving these to people who may not be radio people. I would easily give them this instead of something a little more complicated and just say, here you go, when you need to talk to me, hit the button and transmit. Really simple to use. So the features, you've got the built-in light. They do float. We are going to try that in a second. Power saving, so they will shut off. You do have a timeout timer function if you want to use that. That was a second menu there. In other words, if you're talking for 2 minutes, it'll shut off. So you don't want to kill the batteries by talking forever. So if you've got somebody that has tends to be a little talkative, that can help out too. You can kind of cut them off so they don't run all day. You can set your squelch level on it. You can monitor it. You have a call tone as well. You can lock your keypad. You can do the dual channel watch. Remember I showed you that thing that said channel for the dual watch, and that's what the monitor and scan is for. You can put 2 channels in there. So if you tell people we're on 1 and 4, you can monitor both from your radio, and whoever talks, you'll hear them. So it is a handy little radio. It does have the NOAA weather radio feature as well. But let's try out the waterproof test. We're going to get a bowl of water here, and I'm just going to drop this in, and we're going to see how waterproof it really is. All right, here we go. Come on, everybody, say it with me. Oh, no, I dropped my radio in the water. Whatever will I do? I had the lamp going there. But you see that works very well. Just drops it right in there. And for some reason, that light turns on when you drop it in the water. That is kind of handy. Maybe it turns on if you drop it. No. Let's see. No, it's the water. the water sets it off. Cool, that's good to know. Okay. So at least you know you can find it, and let's make sure it still works. And we'll do, you know, the front too. And make sure it gets wet. Okay, there you go. Let's turn off the lamp. That is a cool feature, so if you drop it in the water, it will blink, and you'll be able to find it. Turn that off. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can still hear it. That's cool. Yep, works perfectly. So you can still hear it. That's great. I am definitely pleased with how this system performs. Even sopping wet still works. So that's definitely good. I guess it has something to do with these two things here, shorting in the back. And when they short, it will automatically turn on the light. So that's kind of handy, actually. It's a neat little feature on it. So anyway, these are the Retevis RT49P FRS waterproof floating walkie-talkies. Definitely a handy little thing for your neighborhood. If you guys are interested in neighborhood watch programs or anything like that, I'm going to dry that off while I'm talking here. You can definitely benefit from it. If you're looking to add something to your emergency communications for your home or your neighborhood, even your local area, your next door neighbors. I mean, you know, I forget to mention it, but even in apartment buildings, something like this would be really, really handy. You've got the ability to reach out and talk to somebody next door without having to go over there and make a scene or cause any kind of problems. You're right there. So if you have a plan set up with your neighbors, having some kind of communications is really, really cool. Now these, as a set with all the accessories, and I will bring them back in, and the batteries, run $51.99. A little bit more expensive than most two radio sets, but definitely worth it. Retevis makes some really nice gear. I've been very impressed with their ham radios as well as their regular radios, you know, your FRS and other stuff, your MERS and stuff. So I've been really impressed with their gear. We are going to be coming up with a review on an antenna from them, and that's going to be coming up next week, so keep an eye out for it. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. I will put a link for these guys down below there. You can pick them up on their Retevis store on eBay. They are on eBay, selling on eBay, so that's where we're doing it from. You can pick them up on that store there, and I will have my Amazon affiliate store link down below for other radios that you might be interested in. You can check out there. And don't forget to check out our Food for Patriots link. That's preparewithiridium.com. If you're looking for 25-year shelf life, good quality food you can set and forget and put away and not worry about it. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.